This is actually quite important for Nvidia and maybe in the context of OpenAI, but it looks like the deal, which was a longer term deal with Nvidia and OpenAI for $100 billion is being revamped or restructured into a nearer term $30 billion deal, which is a little bit more guaranteed. So I think this is a better situation for Nvidia considering, the longer term trajectory of OpenAI's business model. They're really struggling to generate revenue. And again, some of these longer term commitments for OpenAI to other major hyperscalers and hardware manufacturers like Nvidia and hyperscalers like Oracle have come into question. So I think when it comes to this deal for Nvidia, it's a little bit more ironclad. And it's basically a round trip of revenues where Nvidia is investing into the funding round for OpenAI as they're moving towards their IPO. And then, of course, OpenAI is using those funds to purchase Nvidia's chips from them. And again, the more near-term aspects of this deal makes a lot more sense, I think, for Nvidia, and it gives that capital injection, near-term capital injection that OpenAI needs. The other thing is, I think, more importantly, in the context of the price action today for Nvidia is the tariff news. I think this is a big deal for major hardware equipment manufacturers because essentially it reduces restrictions on trade. And it's an injection back into the private sector, mitigating these tariffs, which are in fact taxes on consumers and businesses. So I think that's also very positive because it actually may end up improving the export position for NVIDIA's chips going forward. And the price action today also speaks to some positive outcomes going forward. And lastly, we got to consider what's going on next week. Big week for NVIDIA with earnings. If you look at the EPS numbers, $1.53, that's expected to be higher by 71% compared to last year. And sales also still very robust, $65.7 billion, up 67% year over year. So these numbers are still large in the context of the company, but the price action in the last 6 months really hasn't reflected the promising aspects of the business, and that may change coming up next week.